Exactly. So, like for me, meditation's been a big savior. For the past 2 months, I've been meditating every single day, and
Explain
it's
what meditating is, like
meditating is
how you do it.
for me personally is I reach a state where I am conscious about my consciousness, or
But I
I
think
think about my thinking and I am fully aware. And also, it is also the point where your mind is at peace. There is nothingness. And the way I can like say this in a metaphor is imagine you have your email, right?
yeah,
And you've got like 25 emails. The same way your brain has these notifications. And if you sit there and you flick through all these emails, sooner or later you will reach zero. And that is the state of peace. And that's when your mind is clear and you can actually figure out stuff. You can actually get uh, answers to things that you didn't even question. Like for me, there was even things that I got answers to that initially I didn't even
think you need to
aware.
question.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like my biggest one I remember to like extremely clearly. I stood up from like a meditation and I knew exactly why I was such a stingy person once.
Okay.
And it was all to do with the fact that when I came to London from Poland, like both my parents from same exact village and overall fairly poor people, and it's not that like they themselves still had the poor man mentality. Every single crumb had to be eaten.
Yeah.
Like there was no waste of money. That something like that just didn't exist, and it was inherently bad in our household to waste that
It
type of
was like
stuff.
real humility.
Yeah. And
That kind of thing.
it's something just as I said, it rubbed off, and like when you're a child, you're not even fully conscious yet. Do you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? So
You're being molded
exactly, you're being
by
molded.
so many things.
And when you reach the age of 18, like I am, and this happened to me luckily now, but this happens at different stages to people, and and the inbox is empty, and you're at peace, then it comes, and you're like, wow, so this is why. And I think it's great. Like the thing is with me was I went through what I would consider trauma to some stage. Like I fully lost myself, and I reached actually a certain point where I was tired of being unhappy.
Okay.
And when you're tired of being unhappy, you don't give a flying fuck anymore about absolutely nothing. You just want to change what's going on. And for me, that was losing my own self.
Okay.
So I didn't. So the thing is, when I broke up with my girl, she broke up with me. She was a part of me, and when she left, basically my identity became crushed. There was no more identity to me. Like, and that was the biggest problem. I felt like I wasn't whole without that person.
Yeah.
And the key thing about anything is that you have to be whole by yourself, and the other person is supposed to be just an extension of you, not your other half.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
as soon as they're your other half, you lose yourself, but you don't even know. I only know that I was living in, I was basically delusional all the time, and I like, this is what I'm saying, like these answers only become aware when you are in a state of peace.
Would you say it's delusion or just like more of like taking things for granted, like a mild ignorance on things?
100%. It's like
I don't think it's delusion because so many people get themselves in situations like basically everyone like thinks something they have is better than what it actually is sometimes. So maybe it's just like it's mild ignorance on what's happening to what's happening.
Definitely.
Because I wouldn't say it's delusion because
I felt
Delusion's
like
a
I was.
heavy-
Yeah, it is
it's
a heavy word. A heavy word.
it's a heavy word. It's
But it's like as soon as like these answers like day by day start kicking in, I was thinking, fucking hell, for 17 years of my life, I was literally living in, like, I was not aware of what's going on in my own head.
yeah.
Like that's I was in limited consciousness.
It's like you were functioning on autopilot.
Yeah,
As
and
you
I didn't know that the autopilot was on.
said. Okay.
That's the thing. Like now, for example, I know when I'm doing something and I'm doing it with the autopilot, And for 17 years of my life, I can say for a fact that I was so used to this autopilot, I didn't know I was an autopilot. And then that's the point when you're lost.
I assume.
Yeah.
I mean, the difference is I haven't really ever meditated, but I need to try it sometime.
I highly
Probably,
recommend.
yeah, but the thing is,
And
when
the
you
science behind
explained
it.
to me, yeah, I know, and I think
That's very important
You
as
explained
well.
something. There's a release in like DMT.
Yeah, in your
when
in
you
a
meditate.
place in your brain. I can't example. It's in the front of your brain and.
Wait, search it. Let's
Search
see
it
what
up.
it is.
Where is DMT produced?
In the body.
It's in the brain. It's a pineal gland.
Okay.
There we go. It's in your pineal gland, and when you meditate, it like your pineal gland actually like wakens up in a bit, and that's why some people like who master meditation are able to go through like transcendent experiences, because this chemical reaches high amounts, and then
Yeah.
you see